Well, a group of top employers were identified for building strong careers for its workers, and these include catering and ground handling company SETS and accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers. They were measured using the Singapore Opportunity Index. At an event recognizing these firms, Manpower Minister Tan See Leng says those on the list send a strong signal of real growth. This amid a competitive talent market where workers are pushed to adapt faster than ever. The index, or SOI, was introduced by MOM last October. It was one of the key recommendations by the tripartite work group on human capital capability development. The work group aimed to uplift the workforce amid tightening manpower constraints. Drawing on data from around 1,500 of Singapore's largest firms, the index tracks how companies create pathways for workers to grow and progress across their careers.
Employers shape opportunities on a daily basis through deliberate human capital choices. And it ranges from recruitment, hiring practices, developmental pathways, as well as job design. Now, these decisions have a cumulative effect over the course of an individual's career, and it does make an impactful real difference to whether our workers progress, whether they stagnate, or whether they thrive.
Dr. Tan added that there is no single formula for creating career opportunity, and that's because companies operate differently depending on their context and strategic priorities. Caitlin Ng finds out how two firms are charting different paths to create meaningful jobs and career growth for employees.
At the Rainbow Centre, its staff helps persons with disabilities build meaningful lives. Such effort starts with an intentional hiring process.
There's a component that they go into the classroom, they interact with our students, with our clients, so that they can assess for themselves if there is a role fit, if this aligns with their personal career goals and purpose. We want our staff to come in feeling successful and aligned with RC's mission and purpose.
Beyond hiring, the centre created more pathways for staff development. This is important as workers increasingly value flexibility and mobility. For example, special educators here can progress into specialised teaching roles. This allows them to deepen their expertise instead of a traditional move into management.
The other area that we've really expanded in is in roles that broaden their exposure across different functions of the organizations. In this way, we are able to provide varied careers across Rainbow Centre. They don't need to leave us, say, for example, to go into a new role.
Together with learning grants and mini sabbaticals, these pathways help staff feel supported and invested for the long term. Over at this manufacturing company, precision applies beyond electrical components, but also in developing its people. One key practice is overseas stints for staff to gain experience across different functions and cultures.
After they return, actually they can understand better on the work culture, and also they have more connection with our counterpart in Japan.
Such exposure equipped young engineers to help in the development of an AI-assisted inspection system. With this tool, workers no longer have to visually inspect chip images, a straining task especially for older workers. Senior staff can now upskill and focus on higher value work.
So when our employees adopt a growth mindset, they naturally seek to improve themselves. Ultimately, when everyone grows together, the organization benefits from stronger talent, higher engagement, and sustainable profitability.
Leadership behavior, he adds, is key in developing this mindset, together with regular feedback from staff. The result? Higher retention, stronger engagement, and meaningful career development opportunities.